The Indonesian Armed Forces were founded shortly after the country's declaration of independence in August 1945. The original forces were made up of soldiers who had been trained by the Dutch and Japanese armies as well as the armed militia groups that had fought a guerrilla war to wrest Indonesia permanently from Dutch control. Under the Sukarno and Suharto presidencies, the armed forces of the Republic of Indonesia, Angkatan Bersenjata Republik Indonesia, ABRI, comprised the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the police. Following the Suharto presidency, the armed forces returned to one of their pre-Sukarno names, the National Army of Indonesia, Tentara Nasional Indonesia, TNI, and the police were split into a separate unit. The Army, constituting more than three-fourths of the forces, has remained the largest segment of the TNI. Men must be at least 18 years old to join the armed forces. Selective compulsory service requires a commitment of 2 years. His strength lies in the massive number of our armed forces, all volunteer, of around 800 plus thousands of active and reserve personnel. The Army has thousands of armored vehicle, some of them is old but will be replaced as the modernization/MEF, minimum essential force, program rolling, with hundreds of Leopard tanks, 2A4 and 2A6, and locally produced ANOA APC and Badak IFV/mobile gun, which is pretty good. The Air Force suffers the most because of the embargo, with most of the fleet grounded due to lack of maintenance and spare part from the West, and only recently started to gain some more strength thanks to the MEF with the addition of 16 of a mix of Su-27 and Su-30, around 26 F-1652ID, more C-130 Hercules etc., and plans to buy 12 Su-35 and some AWACS. The Navy still have to make do with Cold War-era submarines and frigates, but with the addition of some modern missile and ASW corvettes and fast missile boats, the Navy have a stopgap until the delivery of the new frigates, from Netherlands, and submarines, from South Korea. Both have one ship build at Indonesia. Fully understand the role of the armed forces in contemporary Indonesian society, one must understand the absolute priority the government and the military leadership has placed, from the beginning of the new order, on the importance of internal security to the achievement of national stability. The new order government, whose military leaders played an important role in 1965 in crushing what was officially described as a communist coup attempt, believed that threats to internal stability were the greatest threats to national security. Having experienced 2 attempted coups, supposedly communist-inspired, a number of regional separatist struggles, and instability created by radical religious movements, the government had little tolerance for public disorder. Since the beginning of Suharto's rise to power in 1965, the armed forces accepted and supported the foundation of his regime, namely, the belief that economic and social development was the nation's first priority and that social and political stability was absolutely essential if that goal were to be achieved. The primary mission of the armed forces has therefore been to maintain internal stability. The maintenance of internal security was considered an integral part of national defense itself. Indonesian doctrine considers national defense within the broader context of national resilience, a concept that stresses the importance of the ideological, political, economic, social, and military strength of the nation. Like Dwefungsi, this concept has also legitimized activities of the armed forces in areas not ordinarily considered belonging to the military sphere. The role of the separate armed services has not changed since 1969, when the heads of the Army, Navy, and Air Force were reduced to chiefs of staff. Operational control of almost all their military units was vested in the commander-in-chief, reducing the headquarters of each military service to the status of administrative organs. Only the police chief continued to exercise operational control over his own personnel. The Indonesian Air Force, sometimes shortened as IDAF/IDAF, is the aerial branch of the Indonesian National Armed Forces. The Indonesian Air Force is headquartered in Jakarta, Indonesia, and is headed by the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. Its order of battle is split into 3 air operations commands. The Indonesian Air Force has 30,100 personnel and equipped with 110 combat aircraft. The inventory includes 33 F-16 Fighting Falcons as the main fighters, from the United States, supplemented by 5 Su-27 and 11 Su-30 30, from Russia, Hawk 200, KAI-T-50 and Embraer EMB 314. This channel needs your help. Please subscribe. Thank you.